Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Challengers. This is issue number 2, Old Brown Eye. So, we have a guest with us today. Playing the part of Yokozuna is Gage from Gaming with Gage. Hey, Gage, thanks for coming and filling in for us.
Absolutely. I have no idea how to play this game, nor anything about the character. It should be fantastic.
Yeah. Just to give you a little bit of a crash course, Yokozuna is a former sumo wrestler turned security guard or like Secret Service agent. And when we last saw everybody, they were trying to get outside of the blast radius of some bizarre alien bomb, which they did not, and that's how we ended the episode. So everybody was unpowered and investigating this strange device, and at the end, everyone vanished when the bomb blew up.
I'd like to argue I had the power of science.
You certainly did have the power of science, but it didn't do you any good. You just knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I'd like to argue that the blast left Yokozuna with a bad memory and a little bit of a personality thing. It feels like he's a different person every mission.
There you go.
He's so strange.
That's right. He sustained such a hefty head injury that he just kind of comes and goes. His personality waxes and wanes. Yes. So yes, if you watched issue 1. Brandon will no longer be playing Yokozuna, so Gage is stepping in to play that role, and we'll see what happens. Yokozuna may be a rotating character, having different players. It might be one of those things where somebody will come in and play him, or he may just kind of fade away if that, or maybe when Gage is available, Yokozuna makes a return.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, so. The events of last time, I kind of just did a quick recap, but yes, you all went to, everyone went to the island of Barbago to investigate this strange device. Turned out that it was some sort of alien bomb, and after the explosion, no life on the island remained, and the player characters have now have since reappeared. So like they vanished, almost like they shifted in dimension, and then now they are back. And when they return to this dimension, they are superpowered. We are skipping ahead the timeline, so that those events happened in 1953, and we are now in September of 1960, so 3 years later.
1957.
What did I say? 1953? I'm sorry. 1957. Yeah, it was 3 years ago. So three-year jump, 1957 to 1960.
I am math man.
Yes.
We returned right after. Like we've been back on our back.
Yeah, I mean, some of you appeared sooner than others. But in total, you were gone. It really just depends on what each individual person wants. It's not that consequential. So if you want to say that you just reappeared, that's totally fine. If you want to say that you reappeared but maybe in a different area of the world or something like that, that's totally fine too. So, but the important thing is now that you are now together as a group called the Challengers, a superhero group that really is it's loosely affiliated with the United States, but not entirely, because most of you were returned to the United States because that is your country of origin. Now, Yokozuna, you're different, but you are a naturalized citizen of the United States, so. The U.S. government did their, testing to see if you are dangerous to the general population, things like that, and they have deemed that you are not a danger to anyone. As a matter of fact, you are assets I'm not sure what that noise is, but so the way we will start this is you are on a okay. I'm getting some sort of weird like whop 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 noise. And I don't know
Is that the chat?
it might be the chat. I don't know why it's coming through our audio, but so that if you're hearing that, that's what's going on. Is there's an active chat going on, and you are more than welcome to join our active chat, chatting with the players and the other viewers at the time of the game. That's perfectly fine. So where we're starting off is that you are all flying in, almost a repeat of what happened last time. You are in a plane and you are now flying over Barbago Island again. And the last time you knew anything about Barbago is all life had vanished. The building remained, technology remained.
Oh, so there was no real property damage. It was just almost in a certain sense like a life bomb.
Is organic. So like the trees were gone and the grass was gone and animals were gone and people were gone.
That's correct. So
I don't need notes. I got it all right here.
No need notes. But now that you're flying over, you see that the island itself has recovered quite a bit in the last 3 years. Now, it's certainly not the jungle island that it was before, and with a lot of the foliage and jungle removed, there's a lot more room to build it up. So as you're passing over this island, you see that the hotel that it was there, Hotel Barbago, has been repaired from any structural damage that may have happened or just disrepair. Has been completely remodeled and added on to. And so as you're passing over it and headed towards the landing strip, you're getting a nice top-down view of the island itself. And you are being told that you're going to be met with someone that you know, and that is Raul, who has graciously purchased the island at basically a song, because nobody wanted this thing because they weren't quite sure if it was it was contaminated or
it was a fixer-upper.
Right, exactly. So it was remodeled, and you're being told that this place will be your base of operations now as the Challengers. So you land in on the airstrip, and as the stairs open up, you deplane, and you see Raul as Machismo is standing there, and next to him is a couple of people to greet you as you step off. The first person you know is a U.S. Army colonel named Colonel Harry Richard Ringer. So Colonel Ringer is he's standing there, and he's got the he's kind of heavy set. He's got the big bushy eyebrows, and he's got the stogie in his mouth. As you come walking down, he's like, "It's about time you got here, ladies."
Colonel Ringer, always a pleasure to see you from a distance.
He says, Dirk, I want you to meet, and he turns and he indicates the person standing next to him, and you see this. If Colonel Ringer is kind of like the consummate soldier, hard ass soldier, the guy standing next to him looks like this guy was ran over by a tank at one time. He looks like he's made of like bone and gristle, but he's wearing a white on white suit, and so it looks really it doesn't really match. It's like his mangled face and the super nice tailored suit, and he says, "This is Dean Oswald. He's your liaison. He's the U.S. liaison to the Challengers. He's going to maintain your day-to-day operations here at the hotel." And he kind of thumbs towards the property behind him.
I believe you mean the base, sir.
Well, it's still a hotel. It's just that your base is going to be located. Yes, that's part of the purchasing agreement with Mr. Mondesso, and the leasing agreement with the U.S. government is that the hotel will be a fully functioning hotel and casino.
The deception, or Dirk will walk up to Raul, and he'll extend his hand. He'll have a bit of a grim look on his face. Raul, it's not the best of circumstances that I think we'll be finding each other working together, but I've had my superiors back on the coast vouch for you, so I'm willing to let anything behind us stay behind us as long as you stay in your lane.
Dirk, it's good to see you again. Of course, we both know who the best was, and let bygones be bygones.
It wasn't really a competition.
Well, I mean, that's what losers always say, but it's fine. Look at my hotel; it's great, right?
It's not about winning. It's just about playing fair.
I don't know about that.
Playing by the rules, by law.
Well, one of us ended up with an island in a hotel, and the other person is a shill for the government. You decide who won that one.
I prefer agent.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's cute.
So Mr. Oswald, the nice suit, grizzled looking guy. The other aspect of him is that he has a patch over one of his eyes it looks like I said, like somebody ran over his face with a tank, and so there you could just see scar tissue all down his face, and he wears this almost too small for his his eye socket patch. It's almost like he's wearing like an eye thong, and his other eye is
an eye thong.
I'm looking around for Cisco.
Yeah, his other eye is real bulgy, like almost like what's the name of the guy from Harry Potter?
I was gonna say Marty Feldman.
Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah. So real Mad Eye Moody, and it is the most brilliant, like almost mocha brown eye you've ever seen. So then Colonel Ringer turns and he goes, "Whatever old Brown Eye says, you do."
Dirk, at this point, after he says that, Dirk will reach into his pack and he'll pull out a little bag. It's candy. And Dr. Alba, you noticed that he had eaten a couple of these in the plane, and Yokozuna, you probably noticed as well. But I'll extend the bag to our liaison there and I'll hold it out, and it's a bunch of little chocolate star-shaped candies, chocolate starfish.
And he
Oh my god.
All right, he puts his hand up. He says, "Never before noon."
Never before noon.
Well, it's probably, as we like to say back in America, it's always noon somewhere.
All right, he kind of looks up at this guy and he says,
The Colonel's had many chocolate starfish. I'm sure he'll vouch for it.
all right, he just digs his hand in and he goes, "I can't get enough of them." He's just licking his fingers. All right, and the Colonel turns and looks at Yokozuna and he goes, "What's wrong with you, boy? Cat got your tongue?"
Yeah, no. And he starts looking around behind him. He's like, "I see no cats, sir."
Shakes his head. Well, so do you want the tour or not? We can stand here and like a bunch of slack-jawed Kansas City beef. And he turns around and walks off. Yeah, Colonel's really bad at, like, he starts off real strong, but then he like loses track of what he's trying to say.
I'll lean over to Dr. Alba. I feel like there was something more he wanted to say. But yes, let's go on the tour.
Yeah, Yoko looks at the rest of the group and goes, "This place seems really familiar."
We've been here before. Don't you remember?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I remember. Fuck.
So, as you're starting to walk towards the hotel, another pair of people are like waiting as you enter the grounds proper, and one of them is a Latin man. I'm getting breathing from somebody.
Sorry, I just yawned. Was it that?
It might have been. One of them is a Latin man. He's wearing green fatigues, and they're kind of ill-fitting. And as you're walking up, and he just kind of falls in alongside the colonel as you're walking. The other one is a civilian woman in. She's in like a khaki uniform with a skirt. And like a smart top with a little pillbox hat. And as she walks up, or as you walk up towards her, she flips open a notebook and she starts writing things. And then as you get closer, she looks at Dr. Alba at Arctic Flare, and she says, "You're Dr. Aldine Alba, correct?"
I kind of sigh because the last time someone asked me on this island, they were a total bitch. So
now you are in full superhero getup right now. You're not in civilian clothes.
Yeah, I don't care about my secret identity. I had to double check and make sure that wasn't one of my hindrances.
Okay. All right. So she's like, "You are Dr. Aldine Alba, correct?"
Not when I'm wearing this.
Well, okay. What do you like to call yourself?
Arctic Flare.
Arctic Flare. Did you come up with that yourself?
No.
Okay. All right.
I had a PR company come up with it.
Dirk, you know exactly who this person is. This is Gertrude Alsop. She is a reporter for the New York Times.
Oh.
All right. So
All right.
as you're walking up, and the rest of you are kind of filing up. Machismo. She's already interviewed you, and she's a very capable reporter, but she's kind of a prude and does not like to have any fun.
So a challenge. Oh, yeah.
Possible. So as Arctic Flare passes by, she then turns to the Deception and says, I wasn't told what your name is, sir. What's your name?"
So she does not know my secret identity, though. Is that correct?
That's she appears. If she does know, she's playing it off that she doesn't.
All right. I will. I'll look back at her and he hesitates slightly, and he'll then use a little bit of his powers to disguise his voice slightly. I am known as the Deception.
The Deception.
The Deception, yes. And as he does that, as he answers her, I'm going to look off to the side as if something caught my attention, and maintain there long enough to try and get her to look in that way.
Okay.
And then if she does, when she turns back, I'm going to change my appearance.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll try and actually make myself look like just like a regular military soldier that I've already seen probably walking on the base.
Okay. All right. So then she turns back and looks at you, and then she kind of looks down at her pad, looks back at you, and says, "Where did he go?"
And as soon as she says that, then I'll drop that mask, and then I'll be standing there in front of her. And that's why they call me the Deception.
Interesting. So that's it? That's all you do?
No.
You look like other people.
He's also a Class A dick.
All right, that gets a crack in her her veneer. So she actually is very stone faced most of the time, and you see like a little twitch of a smile appear on the corner of her mouth. She's like, "Oh,
She might
Yes,
be human after all.
Raul likes to have some fun at my expense, but I tolerate it nonetheless. No, there's much more to the deception than just simple parlor tricks.
I see. Well, I look forward to getting to know all of you."
Mrs. Alsop, I feel
Miss.
I should say,
She
Miss.
said
I'm
Miss.
sorry. Pardon me. I feel I should. I had heard that last time, or when the incident occurred on this island, your husband was here.
My father.
And your father. Thank you for the correction. By all means, allow me to express my condolences, even though it has been a number of years. I'm sure it was not easy for you.
Okay. Make a. Let's see here.
Intimidation. This sounds like intimidation.
No, not.
The fuck?
Make an insight check.
All right.
Yeah.
That wasn't easy, was it?
Must not have been easy for you.
Okay, so you when you say these things, your father, your husband, your father, or whatnot.
As I'm stumbling over myself.
Yeah. But you do see a bit of a sour look, almost like a shadow crosses over her face. When I'm not sure what that.
That's Babs. It's got to be Babs eating.
I'm not doing anything. No, that's not me.
Who the hell's crunching then?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
That is
All right.
weird. Anyway, I was like, I don't know where that's coming from. But so anyway, so you see her kind of like a shadow passes over her face when the mention of her father happens, and then she says, "Yes, I would." He was here at one time, and I'd be very interested to see, to learn just what happened. And then she kind of turns and walks. She kind of gives Yokozuna kind of a side eye, like, I was going to talk to you, but now I'm pissed, and she turns and walks away.
Oops. I'm sorry, Gage.
Yoka just looks sad. And it looks very funny because he's 6'3" and he just kind of.
This huge sumo frame just sinks down.
All right, so you are led into the hotel, and you, as you recall, I mean, you didn't get to see a whole lot of it the first time you were here, and Yoko, you don't even remember any of it, so it's like it's all new to you. This is a very swank hotel, and it has not been open to the public just yet, so it's almost kind of eerie because there's really no staff here yet, and except for like minimum like maintenance staff and whatnot, so it's very. Like, it's deserted, and it's very eerie to walk through the hallways because the marble floors, your footfalls are echoing and things like that. You're shown to a wing of the hotel, which will be your living quarters, and then
Mr. Mondesso, is our headquarters as such exquisite furnishings as this?
See?
So, the colonel is just like, we're getting to that. We're getting to that. Deception. And so you, from the living quarters, there's actually like a secret elevator that takes you down into the sub-basement, which is now the Challenger's headquarters. And whatever you want to call it, you guys can put your heads together and name it whatever you want.
What are the, like, how is the elevator hidden?
Oh, but you tell me, how is the elevator hidden?
It's got to have something to do with like a portrait or a bust of Raoul, right?
Yes, exactly. It's a cigarette machine that you have to buy certain cigarettes, and then like a whole wall flips around to an elevator.
When that happens,
Oh, yeah.
Yoko leans over to the deception and goes, yes, I remember this. This I remember clearly.
The original idea, he was going to have a bust of his face where you had to massage his face and then pull his neck back to open and activate the elevator, but he was tucked out a bit, I see.
That's what I remember, that conversation.
You had to kiss my bust in just the right way.
I think it required tongue, if I remember.
Oh yes.
All right.
It's very unhygienic. I'm glad we went with this.
Right. Well, you are in international waters, so you don't have to worry about OSHA or anything like that. So,
Wait.
I still care about, like health things.
No one cares about your opinion.
so yes, you go. There's the portrait of Raoul. You have to like press the crotch to slide it over, and then you step in, and then there's the
I
cigarette.
thought it was a cigarette machine.
No, it's you push. You gotta
Same
open.
thing.
You open up the
Same thing.
You open up the portrait, step into a smaller chamber that has a cigarette machine that you have to like do the correct thing, and then it like.
It's actually a lot like Get Smart. It's not just one door; it's many doors, and each one is completely different.
Yeah. Each one,
So, whenever we have downtime and we're here at the base, I'm going to devote it to creating a new passageway, so I don't ever have to touch Raul's junk.
And I will pay my men to destroy it every time.
like a back
It's going to
screen
be
door
hidden from
somewhere.
you. Yeah.
You just see Yoko just like talking to himself and like moving his hand like this as he's trying to remember. Okay, crotch, marbles, camel, cool. Okay, down the pole. Oh, God.
This is going to be great in a crisis situation. Everyone's being attacked and we have to get there. No, it's cool. It's Camel's marble. No.
It's got to be over the top and ridiculous.
We have to write down the thing because we have to say it right the next time.
Every month, like you just have to replace it because Yoko gets mad and just punches it.
Who put Virginia Slims in here? What the hell?
I'll come up with the order at some point. I'll have that ready for next time.
Okay.
Oh, I was just writing down what Gage had said.
Oh, we'll use some of that. There's definitely gonna be at least 5 or 6 doors. I want it to be ridiculous.
So you're like, yeah, and every time you go in, like every episode that we, so every issue that we play, there's always a different door. It's like, where did this one come from?
I had this one installed. Do you like it?
So, all right. So you're led
I'm
down.
installing a laundry chute from my room to the secret base.
No.
So
You don't have to know.
You take the elevator down all the way to the actual secret base, and you're brought into a conference room, and all these people that accompanied you, including the reporter, come in here with you. And when
I lean over to Mr. Mondesso and I say, "Is it really a good idea to let the press in?"
Oh, of course. This is how we get our fandom. This is great. We need press.
Isn't this supposed to be a secret base?
Listen, what do you know about this? You're welcome for the base that I paid for that you get to use for free. How about you, be quiet. Just let the grown-ups talk.
I am going to. I'm gonna use my ice powers.
okay.
On Raoul.
It would not be a superhero game. It would not be a comic book unless the heroes fought each other.
I don't think Machismo has a lot of respect for women per se, so yeah, this makes sense.
He is a chauvinist pig. So
Yeah, I say like raising up, but then I use ice instead.
Nice.
okay.
I just want to freeze him in place. Is that
Just-
Arctic freeze?
You're gonna completely freeze me in place? What the hell?
No. Dirk will lean into Arctic's ear. He'll just go, shrinkage. That's all you need. And then he'll walk away.
Good luck.
No, I'm gonna freeze him entirely.
They have to get pretty damn cold.
Do I have to roll for that, or do I just? Is it a?
Well, first and foremost, he has a few things that are passive. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to roll a willpower save to even attack him.
Yeah.
I hate him.
I'm so charming.
I am so charming.
18.
I'm so charming.
Okay, so you overcome his disarming.
I feel like I also should have, just for the record, I feel like I also should have had a bonus to that because he was being a dick.
No, that's not how that works.
It's like, oh, he's such an asshole, but he's so pretty
Yeah.
And rich.
and rich.
God, he's so rich. He's such a dickhead. I love him. I think
Yeah,
he's
but
the best.
We good, Boo. That's okay.
We could boo. All right, so
In typical Babs and Shannon fashion, we hate each other.
right, and we've started already.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to do an Arctic freeze on him, correct?
Yep.
All right, so that is a cone, cumulative cone area affliction. What that means is it's a cone of cold, basically. Boom. So everything in that cone is going to be hit.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you just kind of boom, hit him with it. Unfortunately, Yokozuna is standing right behind him.
Sorry, Yokozuna.
All right, so what we need is it's a cone effect, and the first thing you need to do, both of you, is roll a. You need to roll a dodge save.
Okay, I think that's this button.
Was Sho Yokozuna's real name?
Yes.
Okay.
If you go onto your settings, let's see.
Show enough.
I'm so mad at Brandon. I just saw his roll.
All right, so go to your settings and click the Enable 3D Dice button.
Okay.
So that way the people watching, and I'll switch the view over to our Roll20 setting.
Oh,
And
does that mean I can't roll with my real dice?
that means you cannot roll with your real dice. We're showing our rolls on Roll20.
Since I didn't have 3D dice turned on, I should probably re-roll that.
Oh,
right?
that sounds like a. All right, so what happens?
Do it.
So, and those of you obviously you didn't see the 3D dice roll. So, Yokozuna or Machismo rolls a 20 to avoid the cone of cold blast from Arctic Flare, but Yokozuna apparently wasn't paying close attention to what was going on.
Yokozuna was walking over to the reporter because he didn't get to talk to the reporter earlier, and he's hoping she knows some things about his past life. So he was not looking at all. He was just minding his own business.
Yeah, and he gets a cone of cold in the ass. So,
Yeah.
so
I don't know how to roll.
oh, you don't. Well, you don't need. To roll
If you're just doing like one die, if you go to the left side where the little D20 is, you can choose what you want to roll.
You see, on the left side of Roll20, there's
The very far left.
the descending icons.
Okay.
There's a dice, looks like a D20. You can tell it what you want to roll.
Tools there.
The decahedron.
Yeah, if you go to on your right hand side, if you go to your journal, if you go to your journal, you can call up your character sheet, and then you can. And I've got it set up on each one of your character sheets that you can roll your different powers and your different attacks. If you go to stats and skills, underneath that you'll see where it says offense, and each one of your powers is linked to a ready to be pre-rolled. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? What I'm talking about, Shannon? Did we lose Shannon?
No, I'm still here. I said yeah.
Oh, okay.
She said yeah.
All right. You're frozen on my screen, so I didn't know.
No, she's just sitting still reading.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you just hit those from now on if it's an offensive power, and it'll pre-roll it for you. There you go. So
I'm just testing things.
there you go. That's your So your acrobatics, and it automatically does all the math for you. So that's a crash course for everybody who's not done anything. Roll 20. So what then happens is Yokozuna, you get hit by this cone of cold in your ass, and the next thing you need to do is you need to roll a toughness save.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah. Nice.
Much better.
So, toughness, you would for the Arctic freeze, to resist it, you have to overcome by damage DC 18. So you beat it by 10. So
can I keep walking to the reporter?
yeah, it's like your super suit gets a little stiff, but as you take a step, all this ice goes and just crumbles off your back. Okay, so yeah, no. So Arctic Flare turns, tries to ice Machismo and misses him, hits Yokozuna, but it doesn't really phase him at all. So the colonel's like, "Enough grab ass! Everybody take a seat."
It sounds like the chair is playing grab ass then. All right. Okay. We'll sit down.
All right. So as you
Hold on, before I walk over to Dr. Alba after I gracefully dodge her ice blast, and I'll put out my hand. Doctor, no hard feelings. I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
I glare at him.
You don't shake my hand? What the fuck? That's
I
rude.
glare at him, and then I begrudgingly shake his hand.
And I use my powers!
I knew you were gonna do that.
I don't know how to roll this because it's not my powers
I hate him.
on here.
all right. So
I'm so mad about this.
all right. Well, honestly, are you doing the climactic touch or the frustrating denial?
Climactic touch for sure.
I hate you.
Okay.
I hate you so much. Divorced.
Divorced.
I didn't realize that the challenge was to not be PvP.
I mean, I'm not necessarily causing damage. I'm
No, not at all. So what? For those of you who don't know, what Machismo's one of his key powers is
So mad at you.
is his super sex appeal, which he has two different variants of his power. One is the one that he's using is his climactic touch, which is a cumulative progressive affliction. What that means is that Arctic Flare, you need to roll a fortitude save.
Sorry. I forgot to turn my medicine alarm off.
Fortitude
You're about to get
save.
all the medicine you ever needed, trust me.
I have to roll it on here.
Yep. So it should be a little dice next to your fortitude save. And your target number is 18.
I hate my fiance.
Look at Babs. Look at the crossed fingers go.
He's getting divorced. I don't.
Oh, there
you
it
got
is.
it.
Fortitude 21. So you feel this tingle, but that's about it. But you know he tried to do something.
I glare at him even harder, and I hate him even more.
There's no way. There's no way. It's all positive vibes. There's no way you hate that.
It's non-consensual. I hate it.
Yeah. So, you're like it gives you like this weird creepy feeling. And
Yeah.
so now the colonel's he's like chewing on his stogie at this point, like.
God.
So, as you start to now taking your seats after the shenanigans have died down,
I lean over to the. I lean over. So I sit I make sure that I'm not sitting by machismo and I am sitting by the deception. And I lean over and I'm like, don't shake that guy's hand. Talking about machismo.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Yoko doesn't know why, but he goes, instead of taking a seat, he goes and stands behind the colonel in like a guard position and like crosses his arms behind his back like security. He doesn't know why he does this, but this is like his instinctual place, and he just stands there thinking this is where he's supposed to be.
All right. The colonel's standing there for a second, and he's like watching the rest of you, and then he kind of feels this looming presence behind him, and he turns around and he kind of pats your stomach, and he goes, "Over there, Tubby."
Yes, of course. And he sits down.
All right. Finally, the colonel looks over and he indicates the guy in the green fatigues, and he says, "There's before we get started, there's some business that needs to be attended to." He points. "This is Ernesto Gala. Or Gaia, I'm sorry. This is Ernesto Gaia. He's an ally. And we need to discuss, Mr. Mondeso, the use of your island for something else." And he looks over at Gertrude, the reporter, and he goes, "Miss Alsop, I would appreciate if you stepped out of the room for a moment." And Miss Alsop's like, and he goes, "As per the agreement, you get access to the challengers, but on certain things, you are not." Then he just kind of stumbles. "Just get the hell out!"
Before she leaves, I give her my card. Like, we'll be in touch.
All right.
And Yoko gets up behind her and like escorts her out of the room and then takes a seat.
Right. She pats you and she says, "Thank you, Yoko. Thank you." All right. So, he says, when everybody settles back down, he says, "There is a military operation that's going to be occurring here in the next 6 months, and the president-elect, or the outgoing president, and both both candidates for the office have been briefed on this operation. Mr. Mondeso, the U.S. government requests the use of your island and its airstrip for possible operations in the area."
Yeah, okay.
And he sits there for a second. He goes, "Really?" He kind of looks around.
Sure.
"Well, that was easy." And then he sits down. Mr. Gaia, you have your green light. Proceed." And Gaia stands up and he goes, "I thank you. Thank you very much."
So,
Got more
what
information?
What?
I look at Mr. Mondeso and I say, "Don't you think you should have gotten a little more information about that before you just agreed blindly?"
Well, before you rudely interrupted me, what exactly are you guys doing? I mean, I have no problem with it. I'm not really using the airfield.
All right, he says, the colonel goes, "Well," he kind of looks over at Gaia, and Gaia kind of, like I said, he's kind of this like skeezy little guy, and he goes, "Well, since there's going to be an operation, naval operation, and just in case they need to evac wounded or need any other kind of special considerations, the U.S. Army wants to station a few soldiers here, just in case, because it's relatively close to where the operation is going to be occurring."
Is this some sort of thing to counterbalance what we know is going on in Cuba?
All right, the colonel's like chewing his cigar, and he says, "You might say that."
So Machismo doesn't know anything about Cuba.
Well, I mean,
Who
it's,
cares about Cuba?
well, it's general knowledge that the Cuban Revolution just occurred.
Oh, I know. No, I'm saying he doesn't care. Like he doesn't give a shit about world events. Like that doesn't pertain to him. He doesn't give a shit.
Okay.
So like them wanting to do that means nothing to him. Like, yeah, whatever.
So how do the Colonel? How do the challengers fit into this operation then?
All right, he says, well, since the challengers are and Mr. Mundeso agreed to this arrangement, then we can proceed with what Miss Alsop is here for. And then he kind of he points to Yoko and he goes, yeah, go get her.
Yeah, he gets up and he goes and he opens the door and he like looks for her and goes, and brings her back in and pulls out a chair and then he stands behind her and off to the side in a flanking position. It just sitting feels weird.
I like the idea that the deception, Yokozuna and Arctic Flare have been working together this whole time. So like we are a well-conceived group that works well together, and then we're just using machismo for his money. Nobody's happy about it, but we needed a bankroller.
That's right.
And he wanted to be part of the group.
Right. Yeah. The meeting was, you were all sitting there and you're like, well, we really don't want to operate on U.S. soil because we have to be able to do things without having too much interference with, the bean counters and all that stuff. We really need a place to go. And it's like, well, there's this one guy we know, but he's going to want to be part of the group.
It was the deception's idea. It was this terrible idea.
It was all my idea.
I'm also one of the best spies in the world. Fuck you.
He shouldn't. He's pretty low key. He shouldn't be a problem. Was famous last words.
To be fair, all Yoko said in that meeting was, "Are you sure I've met him?"
All right, so Miss Alsop comes in, and you're now standing next to her, and she said, and the Colonel goes, Miss Alsop, go ahead with what you have, the information that you came here to disseminate. And she goes, very well. In the last 3 years, I've been investigating what happened to my father, and in doing so, I've uncovered a few things. She says, she takes out a file and she lays it on the table and she flips it open, and there's this grainy black and white picture of a group of people, and it looks like they're the picture itself seems like it's oversaturated with like they overexposed it or something, because it looks like super white, and so it's like this group of people, looks like there's vehicles and things like that, and then she takes that picture, moves it aside, and you see a closer picture. And she says that in this investigation, she's been all around the world looking into trying to figure out what killed her father. And she looked into these. There were these tales of strange devices that some top scientists were baffled by and things like that. And she.
No, we weren't.
You were baffled. What does baffled mean? So she flips the page over and you see that it's more of a close-up. She says, I was off of investigating a lead that led me into the South Indian Ocean. There was some talk of some of these bizarre items were being sold on the black market all throughout Southeast Asia, and then making their way into Japan and whatnot. And so, in looking into these things, it led me to this area of Antarctica. And she says that I was on a whaling ship, and the closest I could get to a certain area, even with my telephoto lens, I could only get some of these shots. And then we were chased off by some strange vehicles, some like sea-based like boats, but they weren't like anything that I'd ever seen. She says, but what I do know is this area is controlled by a group that turns out go by the name of the Red Fist. And the Red Fist is, she says, I'm not quite sure exactly what the Red Fist is all about. And that's when, who's all this time been totally silent, Old Brown Eye says, I know who they are.
Yeah, we all know who they are.
I lean over and I whisper to him, and I'm like, "Show, no, we don't."
We definitely are waiting for you to speak because we would also like to know who they are, is what I said.
All right. He says, let's also show him the other picture. And she's like, okay. She says, the Red Fist is led by a man of the same name. He goes by the Red Fist. We don't know exactly what this thing on the end of his hand does, but whatever it is, it's made of the same material that the bomb that created you was made of.
And you believe he's operating out of a base in Antarctica?
I know he is. Because I was on that base. And he kind of points towards his patch. He goes, that's when I lost this.
Well, how did you escape?
All right. He sits back and he says, well, I was captured in 43, and I was put on a jerry boat and taken to Antarctica to work in some secret base. That's exactly where this place is. I recognized it as soon as I saw it. And I knew that it would take people of extraordinary abilities to actually get in there.
What are his goals then? What does he want?
All right, he says, that's when the colonel says, well, that's a good question, because you see the Red Fist, and he's pointing at this picture, leads an army. We believe he's building an army of, we don't know if it's mercenaries, could be, ex-Nazi sympathizers, it could be just, we don't know. But our intel says that he's been recruiting all over the world and gathering his forces down in Antarctica. And then he says, and he flips another page, and he says, and this is what his army looks like.
Did we all see those men when we were attacked, or did just Machismo?
No, everybody did, because if you recall from issue number 1, when the bazooka blew up the garage, that lift tilted, and guys dressed exactly like that with weapons slid down down there with you.
I couldn't remember if they made it down to where we were or not.
Oh yeah, you saw them right before the bomb went off.
Yes, we've seen them before. Interesting.
Yoko's going to lean over to the deception and go, do you think I should get a mask?
I like that he's leaning over me. I just envision him leaning over me to ask the deception about fashion advice.
Do you think you need one?
It just looks so cool.
Well, it does look cool. That's for sure. It's part of the reason why I wear one.
Oh my
you
God.
could. You might be able to get something to match your cultural heritage. Maybe something sort of samurai-like or something. Might be. We'll.
As long as it's yellow.
We can make it yellow. That's fine. We could stop off at a costume shop when we get back to the mainland.
Thank you.
You could
Of
get
course,
a
of
mask like
course.
this. I just have like a little domino mask.
I like the idea that he was trying to be quiet and not interrupt the meeting, even though he like leaned over Arctic Flare and he has this big booming voice. So he like sits back up thinking that no one noticed and everyone's just staring at him.
Now, if you're finished, Mr. Yokozuna, do I have your permission to continue my fucking meeting?
He looks at the deception in Arctic Flare and just like,
I'll nod.
yes.
Thank you. So, we in preparation for this, we tried to some people in the agency put in a request for a B-2 to fly over, and it was shot down.
Are you saying they've got good old American know-how on their base now?
Possibly. So, what I would like for the challengers to do is to go to this Arctic base of the Red Fist, recover the downed spy plane, the pilot, and any recordings that the plane made, destroy the plane, and then find out what's inside that base.
Yoko like raises his hand and he goes, wouldn't it be better to fly the plane home, sir?
He kind of looks around like, are you serious? He goes, what part of they shot it down don't you understand, boy?
Yeah, that would make it a little tricky, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir. He has no idea why.
I love Yokozuna.
Do we need this plane, assuming there's anything left of it, of course, or do we need it destroyed? Or do we just need the pilot rescued?
Rescue the pilot, destroy the plane. Am I, he kind of looks around like, am I not communicating? Am I not speaking English here?
I'm sorry, sir. I'll hold up my notebook. I was taking notes, and I must have missed that part.
Right.
Was there any
I'm sorry, what?
anything else intel acquire, or just the pilot and destroy the plane?
If there's any intel to get, then get it. But yeah, pilot and destroy the plane, that's your primary mission. And if you can find out anything about this base, maybe where this weird tech is coming from, or what they're doing with it, find out. If possible, stop them. At the very least, just find out what's going on. But he's like, I'm dropping a team of superheroes down. I don't think that it's not going to be very quiet. They're going to react, and they're going to know you're there.
Sir, if you're dropping down a team of superheroes, what do you need us for?
And he just kind of stubs his stogie out, and he goes, "Get out."
And he just turns heels and walks out of the room before anyone else is up.
All right. He's like, one of you guys, and he points at the rest of you three, and he's like, one of you guys needs to watch Mushmelon over there and make sure he doesn't fuck shit up.
Don't worry, we've worked with him before. We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah. All right. He says, Mr. Mondesso, the experimental aircraft that you requested from the Air Force is in your hangar.
Oh, excellent, yes. Could you please go over some of the specifications?
He shrugs and he says, it's a fucking plane.
Yes, but I feel like there's more to it than just a plane. That's not what I ordered.
Well, he points over and he goes, talk to your man here. He points at Brown Eye, and he's like, he just turns and walks out. And Dean, old Brown Eye, kind of turns and looks at you, and he goes, "Don't worry, man. I can fly her."
I'm like kind of covering up his face because it makes me sick. Okay, great. Yeah.
All right. He just says, "I got you."
I give him a thumbs up.
And he like reaches under his coat, and you hear him like pushing some like buttons, like click, click, click. He goes, "She'll be prepped and ready in 20 minutes." And he starts to walk out. Passes by Yokozuna, just kind of like nudges him on his way by. "Watch out!"
Yokozuna tried to leave all the way, but he couldn't remember the combo for the second to last door, and he hasn't yet realized that they don't lock this direction. So how to open them, but
So, all right. Unless there's more back and forth, we will skip ahead to the plane taking you to your location. Unless there's something else you want to achieve or do before you go. Nope.
No.
No, but the only thing I would do is probably disguise myself and walk around the base just to see if I noticed anything unusual.
Okay. For the most part, everything's on the up and up. You do see Ernesto. He's setting up what looks like some sort of communication array just off the northern part of the campus. And he's got a guy with him that's helping him do it. But beyond that, just some maintenance stuff in there. It looks like they're getting ready for opening day here. So.
Gotcha.
All right. So you get into the plane. It can be called whatever you want. We can call it. Right now, the designation is the X-101, but you can call it whatever you want to. It's very much a kind of a Lockheed Blackbird looking, X-Men jet.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, so you are flown to Antarctica, and you go like supersonic, and the old Brown Eye says that he's gonna come in. You're gonna come in hot, and I'm gonna drop you about as close to this place as I can.
Is it like a? How do we drop out of this thing? Are we parachuting or?
No, he can like
Thrown out.
No, he's not gonna throw you out. I mean, he's gonna come in low, and he's gonna. It has hover ability. It's like it's like a hover jet too. So it'll come in. It'll hover there long enough for you to deplane, and then he's gonna take off.
So it really is like a Quinjet or like a Blackbird.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly out.
Yeah, I can just jump, right?
Yeah. So, if those of you who can fly, you can do that. If you can fly and carry somebody, you can jump and carry somebody.
I was looking to see how much I could carry.
It should be on your character sheet if you've got it with you. Your carrying capacity is. Let's see.
I don't know where it's at.
Well, you're with your strength, you could probably carry about 150 pounds comfortably.
At a strength 1?
Yeah, that's not much.
Oh, I thought 0 was normal human strength.
It is. In D&D terms, a 1 is a 12 or a 13 strength.
That doesn't help me.
So
I was gonna say Yoko doesn't have a problem with carrying anyone, but he's definitely not gonna think about it. So if you just see him he kind of like gets down like a rhino pawing, getting ready to do the jump. If anyone stops him to say, "Hey, can I have a ride?" he'd be more than happy to help, but he won't think about it.
I think I may have, on Yokozuna's character sheet, I may have put his carrying capacity. Let me look and see.
I know he has a strength of 9.
Yeah.
I grab like I'm imagining it having like almost like suspension cords or something, like something I'm grabbing onto, putting my foot onto, and it just like lowers me down.
Oh yeah, you could absolutely do that. No problem at
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
I can carry 200 tons.
Yes, 200 tons, Yokozuna.
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
Yes. Yes. He's
How the
stout.
fuck is this plane in the air?
Well, I only weigh 350 pounds.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
But you can lift 20 tons? Hell yeah.
200.
200 tons.
Oh, 200 tons. You're going to have to toss me.
Right. So,
Yeah, he's gonna kill you because he's not gonna remember how to do that properly. You're gonna splatter against something.
Right into the moon. Just
so
If you're a tiny guy, I can hold you. I don't know how much the deception weighs.
let me check and see how much the deception weighs. I weigh 3,240 pounds. Oh, no, sorry. I was deceiving you.
What a good deception.
Like that?
You said that, and the first thing I thought was, I could still lift that.
That's what I thought.
Oh, here you go. I'm 170. I'm 170 stone.
Oh, you're just a little bit too chubby for me.
well, Yokozuna could very easily, if you want to zip line down, you can. There's no problem with that. If you want to swing down or however you want to do it, you can totally do any of those things. Yokozuna could carry basically anybody if that's the case. Regardless of how you get down there, you land within about a quarter mile of this. It's like an old whaling camp, but you can tell from just from flying up towards it that it's definitely been built up almost ridiculously. You see that there's like mining equipment and things like that.
Oh, that's right. We're in the Arctic, right?
Yeah. So what you now see is you land and are deposited in this area just in the outside of this Arctic or Antarctic mountain range.
Look how much space he takes up. Good lord! Holy shit!
So yes, Yokozuna is a large creature.
It's my show, Babs. You're just on it.
Good God!
All right. So as you land there, and just on the other side of this range is this mining camp. But when you had flown over, you see in the middle there's a dark area, and it looks like there's a lake, and then there's like that dark area, which is some sort of a cavern system, and you see that looks like there's power cables or something coming out of that cave, as if maybe they're doing something in this area too. So when you land, Brown Eye, he turns the ship, turns the plane, deposits you, and then through your comm system, he's like, "Just holler when you need me."
So does he do a good like gauge of how far away we are since he only has one eye? Is it like his depth perception's off and we were actually way higher?
Right, you're clipping trees on the way in. Right.
He thinks he's hovering when he's 8 feet underground.
Yeah. Right. So
We're good.
right.
Could I have because I can actually fly, could I have like flown over and kind of checked that area out, like where the dark area is,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then met up with the group?
Yeah, if you want to, I'll tell you what. Where do you want to be in relation to? You can actually move your own character. So if you want to, move your guy or your character where you want them to be.
I just go out. So like, yeah, my idea was like I just fly over this to check it out,
Okay. All right. So
and then go back.
all right. So as you guys are landing, I'm gonna put you guys back where you were, because Arctic Flare flies over to see kind of what's going on, and that. So Jen, you placed yourself where you wanted to be, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as
Holy shit!
yeah, as you're flying over this, let's see here, where are we at?
Run away!
This
Run away!
no.
It's too late for that.
I'll put me back.
Yeah.
How does your character fly? First of all, like, do you just levitate, or is it like you're using your heat powers? Or
Yeah, it's like steam power.
She's screaming in panic the entire time because she can't control it.
I'm just wondering, like, if it's loud because of like how you fly or something, or
Right.
It's like one big continuous fart.
I'm gonna say that no, it's not, because my flight does not have the negative quality loud.
Right. Or yeah, or yeah,
Obvious.
obvious or something like that. So no, it's not like rockets.
okay.
All right. So anyway, so the rest of you kind of land. Arctic Flare flies out of the back of the plane to do a flyover, and this giant walking robot with 6 legs, 6-legged robot with a stalk with like this electric eye comes crawling out of this hole.
Oh, I'm considerably less scared. I was much more worried whenever it was a natural giant ass spider.
No, this is a robot. So I need everyone to roll initiative.
A natural giant ass spider in the Antarctic.
Antarctic giant ass spider.
That's what makes it scary. Oh man, I can't use my real dice. This is hard.
So
Life's hard.
Yokozuna gets a 16.
I'm looking for initiative. There it is.
Machismo gets a 6.
I don't know where can I just roll the little dice and then
It's in offense.
Go to your character sheet under offense. Right at the very top, it says initiative.
oh well, I just rolled a dice and got a 2 in my initiatives too.
So the deception gets
4.
4 is my initiative.
All right. So an Arctic gets a 4. All right, and now the monster, Alien Walker. The Alien Walker gets.
Jimmy JJ's lesser known cousin.
Is mine the only 3D dice that's showing up?
No, I'm seeing
Mine
everybody's.
is too.
No, that's everybody's.
Okay.
Oh, like, I don't see deception or machismo.
You didn't see it roll?
Mm-mm.
That's weird.
It popped up and then disappeared.
Oh yeah, once somebody else rolls, the 3D
But it
dice.
should be in the chat, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
I don't see their stuff in the chat.
that's weird.
Are they hiding from me?
Mine does say 2GM.
Oh,
Mine
okay.
says to GM either as well. Maybe that's an initiative thing.
Oh yeah, mine says 2GM as well.
Yeah, I think it's because it's initiative.
I'm the only one who's public with my dice.
Well, it's because you don't know how to go and click the initiative button.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
All right,
Yeah.
so
He's got your number.
right. All right, so this is what happens. This walking robot comes crawling out of this hole that has all these power cables. What you took as power cables coming out was actually part of its legs, so it just kind of goes and it extends out of this hole. Arctic, you are almost caught off guard. I mean, you rolled so low, basically you were. So you're flying like right at it as it's coming out. Machismo, you're kind of you see this too.
You guys just hear "Holy shit" over the comms.
But Yokozuna goes first.
Nice.
If I leap, does that count as a charge? Could I like do a leap into a charging attack or no?
You could actually. You have a special. One of your attacks is is your furious charge.
Touch each eye, yeah.
Yeah, so you can do that as your charge, and that you can do the movement action so you can do the leap and do the charge. That be the attack.
Basically, that's kind of what I want to do is have him just jump flying into the air and come down on this thing doing that move.
Okay, put your character icon where you want him to be. Boom. Okay, go ahead and make
And then
your.
hit the dice roll button.
Yep.
I press the button. It's a strength-based damage DC 26.
Yep. And did it roll?
It did not.
No.
Hit it again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not rolling.
Okay. Maybe is it just a save or no?
No. Let me see.
I think it auto hits is what
It says damage DC 26, so wouldn't that be what you have to resist?
Well, yeah, but it also says critical on
No, not you, Yoko.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
I think the spider has to resist.
Are you rolling it on your powers or are you rolling it on your offense?
I was rolling it on my powers.
Yeah, roll it on your offense because I put it on the ferocious charge on your offense.
There it is.
There you go.
Hmm.
All right, so you rolled a 16 to hit its.
DC 26.
Yeah, DC.
Strength based damage.
It's impressive and tiring.
Yeah. So what was your total? 26, or to hit?
16.
16. All right. So you come in. You get +2 for the charge too. It didn't factor that in. So
Awesome.
that's an 18. That's on the nose.
Yes.
All right. So it needs
And I
a
hit it on the nose.
right. All right. So it is a DC 26 save for the alien walker. Okay. So I need to roll a toughness save, which is there. Okay. And I need a 26. He rolls a 1.
Oh,
All right, so my total, this might be quick. My total toughness roll was an 11, and I needed a 26. So
Nice.
So you beat it by 15. That is huge.
I don't know what that means, but I
Well-
feel like I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's by 2 degrees of success. So it is incapacitated right now. So it can't move. So you come in and boom, you take its legs out from under it and it buckles and drops. So it's like laying on the beside the hole, and looks like it can't. And it looks like that you can't. It can't move, at least for now. All right.
I did a good.
Yeah. So next up, after Yokozuna, is the deception.
The deception. So we already got dropped off the plane. Is that correct?
Yeah. You're on.
No, you're still on the plane.
I'm
just
scared. I don't want to get on. Before we had gotten off the plane, would I have been able to, as soon as like we were flying over this pit, would I have been able to kind of scrutinize old Brown Eye?
Yeah.
Okay, the deception has a hunch.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna keep a close eye on him before we land, to just study his face, just to see if there's any signs of, I don't know, something unusual. But once we get dropped off, I don't know if you want me to roll, but anyway, that's what I'm going to do. But then when we get dropped off, I'm going to have to go charging over there, I guess. Whip out the old baton,
Okay.
Gross, Chris.
and I'll take out my weapon. Hold on a second, I gotta kill my. I don't have enough screen real estate. All of that. So how many squares can I move here? What are we looking at feet wise?
Your character sheet says that you're swinging.
Well, is there anything to swing on?
Oh yeah, there's
I figured
trees.
there-
Yeah, there's trees and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
But I mean, like distance wise, square wise, are these like 5-foot squares? Is that the deal?
yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I'm assuming I must have at least about. Now I have to look.
About 50, 60 feet.
Can I go? Let's see where I'm looking for my movement right here.
You get 30 feet.
Oh, is it 30 feet whether I'm swinging or not?
Yeah, you move
All right.
at you can move. Your swing is your regular move speed, so you're moving at your regular speed. That's up, down, all around. So
Gotcha. All right. I'm gonna go here, and that's about as far as I can get.
okay. Well, I mean, you could do a charge, which
I
is a
could-
double move.
Yeah. But I don't get to it. Do I get an attack then when I do that?
Yep.
All right, screw it. Let's do that. Boom. All right, I've charged into him. Baton's out.
Your attack's -2.
I'll deal with that later. All right, so that would be baton.
I have a
Baton-
cheat sheet of actions.
Hey!
Baton strike.
Okay. All right.
That'd be a 19.
19. All right.
Disarming
21
and
over here.
tripping.
And tripping.
Well, he's at a -2, that's why.
Yeah, because I charged. Thank you, Shannon, for the correct rules. I appreciate that.
You're
Ooh,
welcome.
jeez.
Whew.
Yep. So you come in with the tough. He needs a toughness save 18, and he gets a toughness save 29. So you come in, yeah, tink, and it reverberates. But you see that, I mean, Yokozuna jacked this thing up. It's like you can see that the metal carapace is completely like spider webbed in one spot where his fist came in and just buried into it. So it's having like difficulty like moving, and it looks like it's like almost like rebooting itself. It's like twitching, and then like the electric eye kind of fades, and then it kind of comes back, and then it kind of flickers. So yeah, it's definitely not doing well.
That's awesome.
Okay, so that was the deception. Now it is the walker. Like I said, is just it's trying to recover its faculties because it really did not expect to get blasted like that. Next up is Machismo.
I don't really have anything to use against a giant mechanical spider.
Okay.
I could do a technology roll to see if maybe I see a weakness or something.
That's what I was gonna do.
Oh, too bad. Suck.
Yeah. And I think you have some like teamwork stuff as part of your character sheet, your character build.
Yeah, I don't see it on my stuff though. I thought I did too.
You have Inspire. That's one of your advantages. Something I did want to make of note. I wanted to give everybody an extra hero point before this fight.
Yay!
I think.
Yeah, think of it as a Benny.
Okay, cool.
But you can use it to spend to activate other powers and things like that. So,
Dope.
So I do have Inspire. Yeah, I'm going to do technology roll.
okay, go for it.
God damn it.
All right. Yeah, you're like
Who knows?
this. Yeah, this does not look like a cigarette machine.
Where's the whiskey?
So yeah, you're looking at it. You're like, you've never seen anything like it before. There's some, you can tell that there's, it's certainly doing something to the ground around it, but you're not quite sure what.
Okay. And you said it's not exactly like a spider.
No,
right?
it's more of a, like a War of the Worlds looking, walker.
So like, oh, okay.
Or the
Okay.
day the Earth stood still. That.
I gotcha.
That thing.
Okay.
All right. Next up.
Oh, I guess I should probably move too, huh?
Yeah.
That's probably as far as I can go.
Yeah. All right. Arctic Flare, what are you doing?
I am going to show up Machismo with my technology roll.
Okay.
Never talk smack before the die rolls.
That's true, especially with how I roll.
Nice.
I'll deal with you later, Shannon.
All right, so as you're looking at it, you're like, first thing you notice is some of the circuitry that it's now showing, which wasn't apparent until Yokozuna fucked this thing up, is that there's a couple aspects of it that remind you of the bomb that you saw.
Okay.
It's like made of some of the same materials, if not some of the same, not just like external materials, but also maybe some of the internal workings of it is very similar in design. But with such a high technology roll, what you can also tell is that what it's doing as it's laying there is it's absorbing something out of the ground, and as you're watching it, like I said, it had its legs kind of sticking out of the hole, but the hole itself, there's particles within the soil or whatever. It looks like it's like because they refract the light almost like snow or frost does, but this is completely there's no snow or frost in this particular area. It all looks just like ground, like ground, or some sort of other material that looks like soil or whatever. And as you're watching it, you see some of it start to ripple, almost like water. And it looks like this robot or whatever it is actually absorbing this into itself.
Can I take out my science cup and get a sample of it?
Shannon, we've been over this.
I'm gonna keep calling it a science cup.
You certainly could. Your expert opinion is that it is currently attempting to heal itself.
Ooh.
Okay.
I was also going to say, would you really do that in the middle of a fight?
Yes. My hindrance is one of my hindrances is obsession when I'm doing science.
Okay. You get a hero point for following your obsession.
Nice.
So years ago, and I think the soil is healing it. I'm going to get a sample, and I get in there
Right.
to science.
So she starts digging in the ground, and it's back around to Yokozuna.
Okay, I want to stress again that I don't know how this game works. I see that I have grab, right?
Yes.
And first things first. Arctic Flare, do you say anything about this, or do you just get your science stuff?
I said what I just said. The last part that I said.
Okay.
I say this is like the bomb that we dealt with 3 years ago. This is the same sort of technology as that bomb was, and it looks like it's healing itself from the dirt. I'm going to get a sample.
Okay, cool. Is this allowed? Can I use grab to grab this thing and then do my leap and jump over to this mountain area over here?
Oh, so you're just like grabbing it and just kind of jumping with it.
So you're moving it away from the dirt that's healing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would just be an unarmed attack.
Okay, I can't use. Is that the grab?
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Or
that's
do I
part.
just
That's
get
part of your.
offense?
Yeah, your grab. Just roll your grab.
Roll my grab. Bam.
All right. So what you could do is you could use your hero point for a reroll.
I'll do that.
Okay. And what way this works is you would roll, and if it is less than 10, you add 10 to your roll. If it is above, if it's 11 or above, then you would just roll as is. So you could just go and roll your grab again, and we can determine what happens. Natural
5 hero points, right? That's how that works. Just getting that 20 when you spend a hero point.
Spend a hero point. You know what? Let's do that. You spend a hero point, you roll a 20, you get that hero point back.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, you grab onto it. You can grab you get it in a certain area where you can grab multiple legs at the same time, and you're leaping away with it.
To this area right here where I just dropped my guy. That's mountainous, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to basically drag it over here away from the soil.
Okay.
Not noticing that I just pulled him away from Deception, who spent all that time trying to get up there.
All right. So you grab onto him. So Yokozuna crashes into him and then grabs him and leaps away. Now that is Yokozuna. It is now the Deception.
I am going to. Well, Yokozuna clearly has this well in hand. I'm going to basically look down the hole here and see if there's anything else that might be coming.
Okay. You don't need to roll anything for that.
All right, then I won't.
Because what you see All right, I'm going to grab onto him, and he is now over here with Yokozuna. What you see crawling out of the hole
Yep.
is a second one.
Oh no!
All right,
We've got company.
Yeah, so the second one is still moving. It's like, crawling up this hole, like upside down. Think of it as like in the Matrix, those squid-looking things coming through. So deception, that does not take up your action. You can do do something.
And you say there were cables that were going down into this hole as well. Are they loose? Are they tight? Or
for the most part, they were the legs of the walker sticking out, and then they kind of like catapulted themselves out.
All right.
So
there is no cables.
No.
All right.
What you mistook as cables were actually the legs.
We're actually piter legs. All right. Well, that changes that. All right. I'm going to, although this, that's not going to work. Can I use my swing line and my baton to try and tangle up its legs?
Interesting. You could spend a hero point to essentially do that. What you're doing is you're adding a temporary power to one of your powers.
Yeah, I'll do that. So I'll try and do like an Empire Strikes Back maneuver, and I will shoot the cable out of my baton to latch onto one of their legs, and running along the side of the pit as it's coming out, I'll get myself some momentum and essentially try and swing around it to tie it up, to at least render it incapacitated for a round or until it can break my cable.
Okay, go ahead and make a baton attack with that.
All right.
We'll say it's attached to your strike ability. So not only will you damage it with your baton, but you can also you're spending the hero point to entangle it in your cable.
Gotcha.
Hey,
Good roll.
Ooh, not bad.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we'll do that because if you look at your baton, it has one of its abilities is tripping.
Yes.
So what you're doing it is basically at range, where normally you would use your baton to just trip somebody. You're using using the hero point to add at range. So you're using the actual like harpoon part of it. So
gotcha.
So it needs to make a with a trip. It has to beat your.
Now looking at the thing here, let's see. The damage strike is a DC 23. So maybe it must be. Wait, DC 18. I mean, I guess that's what it says in the little box there. But
I don't know if that. Let me look at you. The strike should be 23. I think I didn't factor it in correctly on your.
Yeah, the damage strike is 23.
So he's still going to have to resist this damage, in addition to the other effect. So
gotcha.
Let me roll for my alien walker here again, and I'm rolling a DC 23 toughness save.
Ooh.
All right. So.
Jeez.
Yeah. So he only got a 17. So 23. What is that? 6?
That's 6, yeah.
Yeah, so he's failed by 6. Is my other sheet here. Those of you watching and seeing me bouncing around and on screen, it's because my kitten is attacking me as we're playing.
I thought I heard a cat.
Yeah, she's decided.
I was wondering if it was our other cat.
So, there we go. So by 6, it is you stagger it. So
Nice.
it can now it can only move or attack. It can't do both, and you've got it pretty wrapped up. It's at a minus to its. It's got to make a strength check to try and bust out of your trip.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to do this, and it's going to be at a minus.
I'll take a free action to say this isn't going to hold him forever.
Right. All right. So
I'm sorry, not a free action. I'll take a word bubble and I'll say this isn't going to hold him forever.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna adjust his roll here and roll. Strength check. That is not going to be good enough. All right, so deception swings in, goes boom, hits it, runs, like swings around it, and does the old Empire Strikes Back. Its legs are now bound together, and it's like laying on its side. All right. Next up that was the deception. So now it is the walker. All right. So the walker on the Yokozuna, the walker you have, is still going through its reboot cycle. So it really can't do anything until it's completely. Essentially, in game terms, there's some regeneration going on. You interrupted its quicker regeneration, but it still has some, so it's just kind of eventually it will come back online. But you've essentially taken this thing out of the fight. You could probably finish it off if you wanted to, but the other one is wrapped up, but its electric eye is still there. So and let's see, the deception is got it coiled up. He is going to take a shot at. Let's see. Essentially, the only person that's really affecting it is the deception because Arctic Flare is standing there. But this is a robot, so is it going to assess? It's not going to do anything crazy. So, deception. It's going to fire its.
Bring it.
Fire its.
We lost Gage again.
Oh, did we? Okay. It's firing its blast. Oh, I'm sorry. It has its blast ability, but it has one of the flaws of its blast is it has an activation. So it has to. So it's building up. So it takes its standard action to do so. So next round it's going to fire at you.
I'll take a word bubble and say gulp.
But it is that's a standard action, so you can't do anything. All right, that was the walker, deception, machismo. So you see that this Yokozuna has taken one of the walkers into the mountains, and you don't see him anymore. And this other walker had come out of this hole, and the deception has it wrapped up, and it looks like it's getting ready to blast him.
Okay. This thing's standing, right?
It's laying on its side at this point.
Oh, okay. I want to walk over to it, and I want to try and, I don't know, damage the thing that's charging up.
Okay.
Like the eye.
Okay. All right. So you're taking you're intentionally targeting the eye. Okay.
Yeah. You're muted, Shannon, if you're trying to talk.
If you want to use extra effort, you can get a +2. That'll probably negate whatever negatives you're getting for targeting something.
Yeah.
But it leaves you fatigue.
Yeah, it will fatigue you.
But you can use a hero point to get rid of that.
Okay, I'll do that. So just unarmed attack, right?
Yep.
$15.
All right, unarmed attack 15 against the.
Or well, did I add something? I guess since I did the extra effort. Is that how that works?
Yeah, you get it. You get +2.
Okay, so 17.
All right, so 17 is a hit.
Woo!
Because it's being held. So. All right, so it's a DC 15 toughness save.
Is it DC 15 or DC 17?
For an
I think.
I didn't know if that +2 also went to the DC.
I think it just goes to the roll.
Yeah, to hit.
Okay.
Woo! Nice.
I'm a low rolling fool today.
Hell yeah!
All right, so yeah, you bruise it, and it's already damaged. It was staggered. So you pile onto it. Boom! You hit it.
Whap.
Yep, and it's you see it the eye just kind of buckles, and so it recoils. And
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely did something to it.
Nice. And as an
And at
effect,
least-
I'll get a blunt.
Does it seem like it stopped the charge, or is it still charging?
It's still charging, but you can tell that just the impact of it may have done something to maybe its targeting or something. So it'll definitely shoot at a minus.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And then I guess I'll use that hero point to make me not
okay,
fatigued.
not fatigued. Okay, all right, and then Arctic Flare. You have
All
your
right.
specimen.
Yep. So I can get back to my other work. Can I use technology to like try and short circuit it?
Yeah, I mean, if you roll high enough. This is alien tech, so it might be a little bit, at least to know how to.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna technology.
I'm gonna technology. You sound like Kip Dynamite. I'm gonna technology it.
All right. As you're looking at it, you could tell that it takes a lot of its power to power this blast that it's charging up, and it doesn't look like it's to the point where you could see that other like parts of it where normally it would be glowing, or you could see like its circuits or whatever, they start to dim. So you can figure that it probably is vulnerable to its own blast.
That's not nearly as fun as me getting to like get in there and change some wires.
Well, I mean,
Zap it.
what exactly are you wanting to do?
Yeah, what did you expect? You're going to rewrite
I don't
the
know.
entire machine?
Yeah, technology.
Not with a 19, you won't.
Okay. Can I know where, like, if I get it wet somewhere? Because I have ice powers and fire powers. So, like, if I iced it somewhere and then melted that ice, if that would fuck it up.
Possibly. It has exposed wiring and things like that, so sure.
Okay. Can I do that this round, or do I have to?
You can do that. Your technology
Okay.
roll is just to recognize see if you could isolate any
Game
kind of-
recognized game.
Right.
All right. I don't.
Shannon, Jesus.
I'm not gonna lie, I liked it.
This is just who I am as a person. I don't know where my offensive powers are. That's why I keep using technology.
Just go to offense.
Oh, yeah, that helps me.
Just do what I did and click one.
Just click any of them. I'm going to use my ice spear if I could get this stupid thing to expand so that I could see what my powers were called. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to use my ice spear and try to target where I think it'll be most vulnerable
Okay.
to, like, getting wet.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Shannon.
I was really upset no one said it last time. I did not roll well. I'm going to use one of my hero points.
Okay.
So that's a 19 plus whatever. 6. I guess it's a 25. I rolled a 9, and
Right.
I had used a hero point, so I get
Oh, right.
10. Or I
Okay.
get to add 10 to my result, so that's 25.
All right. So yeah, that definitely hits. What's the? Let's see what the damage is on that thing.
DC 22.
DC 22, and it's already damaged. So yeah, it's not doing well.
What's multi-attack? I can throw multiple of these?
Yes, you can hit multiple targets, or you can hit the same target multiple times.
Oh, can I do that now, or?
You have to announce that first, because there's a minus to your roll.
Okay,
It's like hitting it with a machine gun.
got it.
So it rolled. I forgot to adjust that. It's actually at a -2. So he rolled a 15 on your 22. So that it starts to spark when you hit it with your ice spear, and it sparks and just looks like it's dying.
Ooh, yeah.
You have incapacitated it. All right, so Yokozuna, you can finish off this other one.
Finish him.
Reach in and grab a bunch of wires and say, "This is for Sheila," and rip it out, and then kind of like look into the sky and be like, "Who's Sheila?" Just drop it and walk back to the rest of the group.
Okay. All right. So as you walk back in, you see this other one that had appeared, and so now you have two completely destroyed robot walkers, and you hear this booming sound on the other side of the mountain range, and as you look over, like, what the hell was that? You see coming through the mountain, like over the mountain range, you see these hovering vehicles that look like hover tanks, and they're coming in your direction, and each one of them has this red fist emblem on the side, and you see they're coming in formation, and that's where we'll end today's episode.
Yay!
No!
Hey, how much do you think these spiders weigh, Eric?
Actually, I think I have that. Let's see.
Would you say they're less than 100 tons apiece?
Oh, easy.
I bet it's a bunch.
Yeah, you jumped with one, so you should be less
They
than
weigh.
that.
Each of them weighs 950 pounds.
I'm so happy that you're bringing these because I wanted to science them more.
It's all about that science.
All right. So post game, thoughts, ideas, concerns.
I'm gonna have to get some kind of weaponry or something because I'm not gonna be. I can't sex up robots as well as human beings.
Well, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be fighting robots all the time. This was just
Yeah. But I mean, if we're fighting like big stuff, oh my god! If we're fighting big stuff,
hopefully somebody in your cat just farted.
No, he fucking drooled and just shook it fucking everywhere. But stop, dude. Fuck, get the fuck out of here. Like, dude, look at this paper now. It's got like
Gross.
drool all over it and shit.
Wow.
Oh, and your social security number.
Yeah. But like, if we fought like serious shit stuff, I don't know how well, because I have normal human strength.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was like, I can't just run up and punch this thing. Like, I'd have to hit something sensitive.
Although it would have been funny if you would have made with these robotic spiders jizz if you touched them. They shot just all kinds of web out of their backsides.
I thought about it. I was like, hold on, would my powers? Because the basis for my powers is purely it only works on like organic things, like beings that aren't machines. But like
legumes.
what if it did? What if it did work on them? What would they do?
Well, let's see. Does it say?
No, but I don't want it to. I feel like that's gaming the system.
Well,
I don't want it to.
What we could do before next time, and that's totally fine, is we could kind of restructure your character just a slight bit and make it so that way it only affects organic and it doesn't affect things without like fortitude saves and things like that. So you're limit it to that. That'll give you some points back, and you can come up with some sort of an offensive thing.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
That way, because otherwise it would lead to a lot of awkward breakfasts with that toaster, your coffee maker.
Not awkward for me.
No,
it's a great breakfast.
No,
Your electric toothbrush would be really weird.
No, man, you'd never have toast because it would always spring up, before it's
too early.
Too early, right?
This is just soft bread.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We will be back next week. I'm not sure about Gage, but we'll see. Maybe, possibly, Yokozuna could have a personality shift. We don't know, but that'll definitely be interesting to see. Gage, thank you so much for helping us out. We really
thanks, man.
do appreciate it.
Yeah, really. Thank you.
So, all right, we will see you guys next week for the Challenger.